Aloha! This is an Ōlelo training video, and my name is Brandon Proctor. Today's subject is project storage and file management. Let's get started. If you're watching this video, you're probably starting your journey with video editing or looking to have a better understanding of file management for your current or upcoming project. Why is file management so important for an editor? And why should I, as an editor, be spending more time organizing my project? There are three primary reasons for you to adopt good file management habits. The first reason, getting to know your footage. Organizing your files gives you the opportunity to look through what you have shot and develop a familiarity with your footage so you can form a mental catalog of clips you'll use in your edit. The second reason, speed. By organizing your media into a folder structure, a good portion of the editing process will be done by the time you are ready to edit and you'll know the clips you want to use. Then you can quickly trim them, put them on the timeline, and finish your project. The third reason, problem correction. Being able to recall your media when a problem arises during editing or retrieving a raw clip from the archive after time passes during or after the project has been completed. Project storage. SD cards, flash drives, internal and external drives. Oh my! Have the proper physical tools for editing, like storage devices for keeping your current project files on, as a place to edit the multimedia, a location to archive the project once completed, and even have a place to store your software and the computer operating system is crucial, and doing so will keep your editing station working at its top performance. There are two things to consider when choosing your storage device. The first is how much storage does the device have. The more storage space, the more media you can store, and for larger storage devices, the better to archive your project with. The second aspect is speed. How fast can the storage communicate, transfer, and receive information from the edit station to and from the storage device? SD card. The first storage device we will discuss is the secure digital card, also known as an SD card, which is used for capturing media. This includes footage, photos, and audio clips to be transferred to a faster and larger capacity storage device. SD cards don't have an ample amount of space for all the media that will be edited and files that are generated by the editing software. SD cards aren't as fast and stable enough for the constant rewriting and reading of the editing program. Because of this, the media and project on the SD card will be corrupted over time, and worst case scenario, you can burn out the SD card after a few sessions of editing. Flash drives. The second storage device we will discuss is something you will most likely have and will already be familiar with. The flash drive is essentially used for transferring minor media from one device to another. You can also store small files for long periods of time on this storage device. Flash drives can't hold enough space for both the media and the files generated by the editing program. Most flash drives can't handle the speed of the constant reading and writing from and to the computer and the drive. Internal hard drive. The third storage device that you will use for the task you're trying to achieve on a computer, including the task of editing, is the internal hard drive. This piece of equipment is crucial for editing. Without it, your computer is as useful as a paperweight. The internal hard drive stores your computer operating system, all the programs you use, and the cat photos you collect. Internal drive is okay to edit from, but the more space you use on the drive, the more performance you sacrifice, and slower the computer becomes. If you fill up the internal drive, the editing program will not allow you to proceed until you offload the media and all the files that are taking up the space on the drive. This makes the internal hard drive horrible for archiving. Internal drive have sufficient speed to handle HD and sometimes small 4K editing projects, but the more space you take up, the slower the drive will become. Since the drive takes on constant reading and writing of the programs that are running, the operating system, and the project's working files. A side note, if you have more than one internal storage drive, you can edit without the problem of slowing down the computer by using whatever drive that is not storing the OS and the programs. External hard drive. There are two types of external hard drives. The smaller portable drive that takes power from the computer, and the larger external hard drive that takes power from the outlet. Both are efficient tools for the task of editing, and most main brand drives can be trusted. Portable hard drives are great for the editor on the go, but since it takes power from the computer, it will slightly slow down the editing station. The external hard drive is meant to be stationary and more reliable and not as prone to hard drive failure. External hard drives are best suited for the task of storing your media and projects for longer periods of time. Most external hard drives are fast enough to handle the most demanding tasks of video editing, but not all drives are the same. Just take notice of what other editors are using, and you can always ask your media center staff of what they suggest. As you can see, choosing the right storage device for you to edit and archive your media is important. You need to choose the right tool for the right job. File management. As stated before, a good file management structure can make the editing process faster and relieve stress and hassle from the task. There isn't a file structure template that fits every editing scenario, as each project content will be different from the last. A template that works for a short film will not work for a documentary or a live performance. But the folder template I'm about to cover will get you through the basic edits and be flexible enough for you to change for the needs of your projects. Let's begin. The project folder. The project folder is the location where you'll be storing all the content of your current editing project that is being worked on. This includes the multimedia files, the FCPX files, the paperwork from the production process, and any exports you have created. Usually I title this folder as the same name of the project or episode I'm working on. Here's a visual representation of the project folder and all the folders that are inside. The first folder you should create is the multimedia folder, to be followed with the NLE folder, or for Ōlelo standards, the Final Cut Pro folder. Then the paperwork folder, and last the export folder. And with each folder, I use all caps. Let us cover one of these folders in more detail, starting with the multimedia folder. Multimedia folder. The multimedia folder is the location where you'll be storing all of your media files. For example, footage, audio, and stills from the production. You can also add or remove additional folders, including visual effects, motion graphic templates, and overlays. The multimedia folder is most likely going to change dramatically for each project and will even change during the post-production process, as you will want to add or remove content. When titling these folders, I would add a lowercase m for multimedia, then a numeric value, underscore, followed by the folder name in all caps. For example, M01 underscore footage, M02 underscore audio, and M03 underscore stills. I will not go into detail of how you can add more organization with each of the subfolders you have in the multimedia folder, since we would be here for hours. But for example, in the footage folder, you could have a A-roll folder, a B-roll folder, or you can have a folder per each talent, or location filmed. You can even have folders for each scene in your script, or by order of when you're going to place the clips on the timeline, As I said, there is a lot you can add here. Let us go on to the next folder. Final Cut Pro 10 folder. Final Cut Pro X folder is where you'll be storing the FCPX generated files, such as the Final Cut Pro library files. The location is determined by the editor when the Final Cut Pro library is created in the FCPX software. The editor can also create another FCPX utility folder to store other FCPX generated files. The paperwork folder. The paperwork folder is where you'll be storing the pre-production paperwork, scripts, and legal documents of the production. These files are useful to have on hand, for example, to check the spelling of interviewee names for lower third graphics or any legal questions that could come up down the road. The naming convention will go as followed. Lowercase p for paperwork, then a numeric value followed by an underscore, then all uppercase name of the file. P01 underscore pre-pro, P02 underscore script, and P03 underscore legal. Export folder. The export folder is where you'll offload any files that were exported or shared from the project. This includes revisions and final export videos. The folder name convention is the same as the multimedia and the paperwork folder. A lowercase e, a numeric value, followed by an underscore and an all uppercase file name. Example, E01 underscore revisions, E02 underscore final exports. As you can see, this file management structure is thorough but simple to understand. As you go forward into the world of editing, you'll find or create a structure that will work for you. We welcome you to copy this structure to your hard drive and use it as needed until you come up with a file template structure that works well for you. Well, this has been delightful, and I hope you enjoyed. Please visit us at Ōlelo.org or follow us on our social media platforms. This was an Ōlelo training video. My name is Brandon Proctor, and mahalo for watching.